Hello, in this video we're going to learn integration using U substitution. So before we do that, let's just recall the basics of integration. So if I give you, say, something like this, 1 over x dx, all you have to do is look at the problem and see if it matches with the formulas. If it does, you just write down the answer, ln x plus c. That's the basic of integration. But what if I give you something like this that does not match with your say 3x over 4x squared plus 1 dx? Like, how do you integrate something like this? So if the problem says you use U substitution, and if it's a complicated problem like this, you have to introduce a new alphabet, U, into the problem. And remember, if there is a fraction, and if it's integration by U substitution, try and make the bottom to be the U. Okay, then you find du over dx. These are the steps, which makes it 8x, right? Plus 1 is 0, so 8x. And then solve for du. So move the dx over there and 8x over here. Solve for dx, sorry. So du becomes du over 8x becomes dx. You cross multiply, move this up here, move this down there. So these are the steps. Now what you do is, in place of 4x squared plus 1, you write u, because that's what we chose. In place of dx, you write du over 8x. And then you check, does anything cancel out? So the x cancels out with x. So you're left with 3 over 8u du. Now, the constants can go out of the integral. Okay, now this bit over here is of the form 1 over x dx. The only difference is the variable is u. So the answer becomes 3 over 8. Like, if it was 1 over x, the answer was ln x. If it's 1 over u, the answer should be ln u. And in the final step, you replace the u with whatever you had replaced it in the beginning. And this bit here is your final answer. So these are the steps to follow if the question says use U substitution to solve the integral. Now sometimes it may not even say use U substitution, but these are the steps you will understand once with practice. Let's try and do one more. Okay, what if I give you integral, say 4x e to the power of So now remember, in general, use the one with the highest power to be your u, so that its differentiation is also in the problem. So let u be x squared plus 1, or whatever is in the bracket other than x. So this is like the opposite of the chain rule of differentiation. If there's something other than x inside the bracket, try and use the u substitution and make that your u. So du over dx is 2x. Solve for dx. Du over 2x becomes dx. The steps remain the same then. Then what you do is, in place of the bracket you put u, and in place of dx you put du over 2x from these guys. Then you check, this and this cancels, leaving 2, and this cancels. So you're left with 2 integral e to the u du. Now this is of the form of the formula. Only the variable is u now. So the answer is 2 e to the u plus c. And finally replace the u with whatever you had here. So you get 2 to the e squared plus 1. That's your answer. So once you understand the steps, it becomes a pretty simple problem. We can do one more. Okay, let me think about this. What if you have, say, 7x squared bracket x cubed plus 6 to the power of 5. Something like this. A bit difficult. Okay, what do? Start with u equals x cubed plus 6. And follow the same steps. Du over dx equals 3x squared. So du divided by 3x squared becomes your dx. So these steps remain the same. Now come back to your problem. Replace this with the u. Keep the 5 as it is because we're only replacing whatever is inside the bracket. And replace the dx with du over 3x squared. The x squared and the x squared cancels. The 7 over 3 can come outside the bracket. And you're left with u to the power of 5 du. Now this is of the form of the power rule, only the variable is u. So you should get 7 over 3 u to the 6 over 6 plus c, and then simplify. 7 over 18, in place of u plug in x cubed plus 6 to the power of 6 plus c. This is your answer. So any such problem, once you get the u, then the problem becomes really simple. Just follow the steps and you will get the answer. I hope that made sense. Any questions, you can type in below.